More than 300 people have been killed as a result of flooding in South Africa this week. Heavy rains in the country's eastern Kwazulu-Natal province, including the city of Durban, have caused widespread destruction, and more rainstorms are forecast in the coming days. Well, for more on this, let's talk now to Lorianne Vofokana from our sister service, Africa News. Lorianne, tell us more. We've seen some of the horrible pictures coming. Tell us more about the effects these rainstorms have been having in the country.
Yes, your viewers may certainly have seen these images of impassable roads, images of shipping containers that are in jumbled piles. So more than 40,000 people have been impacted by the floods, mudslides, as well as landslips, and many of them have lost their homes, their shelters. They are now housed in overcrowded shelters. They've found refuge in city halls, for example, and it's one of the many things that the government is doing to try to help the people affected there. They have also received food parcels as well as essential packages. So the situation is quite dire, and communities, especially impoverished communities, it's not just affecting Durban, but the surrounding cities around them are very, very poorly affected.
If things have been so bad for the South African government, of course, like so many African governments, it's severely impacted by the COVID pandemic as well. President Cyril Ramaphosa has been blaming climate change and saying this is clear evidence of that. Tell us more about the government's response.
Indeed, the president said that the catastrophe was an evidence of the impact of climate change, and we can see that in the southern African region. I think about countries such as Madagascar or Mozambique, who at the beginning of the year had been affected by similar disasters. For the moment, the government has declared a state of emergency. So it be forced to the executive provincial to take all necessary steps to mitigate the situation and to manage to bring a good and satisfactory response to the disaster. So the military has been deployed. They are helping people on the ground. They are continuing rescue operations. We have already seen in President Cyril Ramaphosa's answers to South Africans in his Easter address. He's urging them to think about people that have been affected and to calling for help, essentially. So there are many organizations and NGOs that are helping the government as well as locals who are doing their best for the situation to be less harder for the affected communities.